They're on their feet here at the Capital One Arena. Bertans to Beal, 5 seconds. Beal, crossover, in the paint, step back for the win. Got it! 5/10 of a second remaining!
Bradley Beal was once a scoring machine and one of the most promising young stars in the NBA. Now he finds himself in a sticky situation with the Suns. From leading the Washington Wizards as one of the faces of the franchise to being traded to the Phoenix Suns, his journey has taken a sharp and unexpected turn. What happened to Bradley Beal? How did he go from a superstar in Washington to an untradeable player in Phoenix? In this video, we're diving deep into his rise, his trade to the Suns, and why his current situation has left both the player and his team in a tough situation. Bradley Beal entered the NBA in 2012, being drafted by the Washington Wizards with the 3rd overall pick. Paired with John Wall, Beal showed flashes of his scoring potential. However, it wasn't until the mid to late 2010s that Beal began to blossom into one of the league's most elite guards. By the 2017-2018 season, Beal had established himself as one of the NBA's top tier players. He became a 2-time All-Star, and in the 2018-2019 season, he averaged an impressive 30.5 points per game, making him one of the most prolific scorers in the league. Despite these incredible individual performances, the Wizards struggled to build a competitive team around Bradley Beal. Other than John Wall, Bradley Beal never really had another star teammate to help propel him deep into the playoffs. The lack of playoff success over the years, coupled with a lack of roster consistency and depth, led to a growing sense of frustration for Beal. This growing frustration eventually led to Bradley Beal requesting a trade out of Washington.
Chance at the last shot. Beal, tough fadeaway is good. Bradley Beal, and he's fouled.
In 2023, Beal's tenure with the Wizards came to an end when the Phoenix Suns made a bold move to trade for him. The Suns sent off Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, and 10 future draft picks to bring Bradley Beal to Phoenix. At first, it seemed like a no-brainer for the Suns. They were looking for another superstar to pair with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to form a new Big Three in the hopes of making another championship push. And Bradley Beal was supposed to be just that for the Suns. When he joined the Suns, Beal was a 3-time All-Star and had proven himself as one of the league's most gifted offensive players. The Suns believed he was the missing piece to elevate the team back to championship contention, especially with the immense talents of Booker, Beal, and Durant. The only problem was, Bradley Beal's contract came with a major caveat: a no-trade clause. For those unfamiliar, this meant that Beal had full control over his destination and could veto any potential trade that the Suns wanted to include him in. This is something that is very rare in NBA contracts. For example, the only player besides Bradley Beal in the NBA right now that has a no-trade clause in their contract is LeBron James. So think about that. The only 2 players in the NBA that have a no-trade clause are Bradley Beal and LeBron freaking James. Nobody else. That's how rare the no-trade clause is in an NBA contract. At the time of the trade, Beal was coming off a few injury-riddled seasons, but he was still considered an offensive weapon. But at the time, no one saw the bigger problem, that Beal's no-trade clause would trap him in Phoenix even if his play didn't live up to the expectations. For the Suns, that meant they were all in on Beal no matter if they wanted to be all in on Beal later down the road. No other team could offer the type of trade packages the Suns could. And without the option to move him easily thanks to that no trade clause, Phoenix had no choice but to put up with Beal's performance on the court no matter how good he was playing. Fast forward to the 2024 season, and Beal's time with the Suns has not been as expected. While the team has still managed to contend with Booker and Durant, Beal has struggled to integrate with the lineup. Injuries have been a factor, but the biggest issue has been his fit within the system. He's no longer the dynamic scorer he once was. but the issue is he still thinks he's the scorer he once was. Beal's 3-point shooting has dropped, his ability to create off the dribble has diminished, and he's shown signs of trust issues with his teammates in important games. He doesn't seem to mesh well with Booker's ball-dominant style or Durant's off-the-ball movement, mainly due to the fact that he is used to being the ball-dominant player on the team from his time in Washington. Instead of being the final piece to push Phoenix over the top, Beal has become a question mark. Sometimes it looks like he's worth all that money and worth that no trade clause, but most of the time he just looks like an above average role player. With limited contributions and no easy way to get him off the roster, the Suns now have a whole bunch of locked up cap space that they can't get rid of. This is severely limiting their flexibility and their title aspirations. As Beal continues to struggle, his contract is becoming one of the worst contracts in the NBA. Phoenix is paying top tier money for a player who, at best, is an inconsistent third option, and at worst, a liability on the court. With Beal's high salary and the lack of a trade market due to his no trade clause, the Suns can't make any moves to improve their depth or upgrade their roster. They're stuck with a player who, despite his past accolades, isn't living up to the expectations that came with the trade when you traded for him. Furthermore, Beal's presence on the roster is limiting the team's ability to develop younger players, balance their financials, and build a future around Booker and Durant. Phoenix is stuck in a tough spot, waiting for Beal to either return to form or have him continue to be a very expensive role player. Bradley Beal's journey from Washington to Phoenix is a tale of high expectations and unfortunate realities. What was once seen as a blockbuster trade to form a super team has now turned into a reality for teams who think a no trade clause is just a contract quirk. The Suns are locked in with Beal, and unless something drastic changes, this will remain a mess for the foreseeable future. The question is, can Beal turn things around, or will he be remembered as one of the NBA's most expensive, unmovable players? What do you think about Beal's situation in Phoenix? Do the Suns have a way out of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and goodbye.